profit and build a market position. It's the toolbox in your scenario when you have an idea, as I say, this month, next year, whatever, you can think about it in terms of, right, what have I got here? Have I got anything defensible? If yes, that can maybe steer you one route. If maybe, that steers you another. If no, that steers you another route. I mean, so it's just to help you, again, with idea screening about how, as you develop something and you start to see where the value might be, it helps to steer you in terms of ways in which you're either going to protect or you're going to just get return on investment. This is all about, if you think about it, though, this is all about ways in which you are trying to create a position in which you can achieve return on investment, be it that patent and licensing or patent and manufacturing yourself, be it trade secret and finding a convoluted way like Coke, or charging ahead and getting out there and building a market position. All of this is your best judgment at the time on what is the most practical and most likely way of successfully getting return on the investment I've made to get this product to where it is or to market or whatever it might be.
Sometimes you might take the position that you're never going to establish top dog market position, but you just price in order to make your money. And the example I was thinking of when speaking is Hewlett Packard, when they produced what they said at the time, I think it was the world's first sort of pocket calculator. And I remember it was 450 quid, which in 1974 or 5, I can't remember exactly when, was quite a lot of money. And we, the organisation I was in, you had to borrow it on an hourly basis and sign on the log to say you actually had it and return it because it was so valuable. 2 years later, I bought a pocket calculator for £1.99.
Yeah.
So they lost the market completely, but they weren't bothered. They sold quite a few of these at 450 quid.
Yeah, and the Hewlett Packard calculators use reverse Polish logic as well, I think. So you had to program them backwards. They were weird things from the outset.
So there's a couple of things. You haven't mentioned design registration as well.
No, I haven't. No.
That comes into this bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does, and I haven't touched on that.
Because I had a one-on-one with the IP guy. Well, no, when I first set up, I did loads of research and worried about it, and in the end I just turned around and just sort of forget it, just go out and just do it like you were saying and hope. But there's always going to be people that copy. But if you're a designer and stuff, you usually move on by that time. Sell that product. If it's a good seller, keep going. And there's someone will copy it, but they won't do it as well.
Yeah, and you know, and there are ways around that. You know, you can either, if they are inventive, you could do design registration. That they have some benefits, they have some weaknesses. But
it just costs a lot of money. Like if you've got a jumper and it's got a pocket on it, and you can register that design as a pattern. But if someone that can then come along, move the pocket by 5 millimeters,
yeah,
you're not covered.
that's right.
What's the point?
So those are the weaknesses.
Yeah. So
you could argue that if there's value in your designs, if they're novel, if they're inventive, and such that they bring something new and valuable to the market, you know, you could argue the way you can build value is you have a brand, so you have a logo, you trademark your logo, so that, you know, actually, rather than trying to protect the design, you actually protect the logo, your trademark, and so you try to build a bit of protection in that way. So it doesn't stop somebody cloning, but if you're first out with that type of design, and it's your trademark and it's your logo, and so your logo is synonymous with novelty and inventiveness and cutting-edge technologies or techniques or fashion or whatever it might be. Then, if somebody comes and does then you see it in Primark 3 months later, you know, everybody knows that that's a Primark knockoff of your design. It's not got your logo. It's not the original Invest. So design registration is a difficult one for the reasons you just explained. You don't have to do much to navigate past it.
It's just you throw money with it. I think it's £65 per design, isn't it? So it's just like there's no point in doing it unless you come up with something which in clothing isn't. Nearly everything has been done in some way.
Well, the little red label on the swirl on the some sort of scrapey, swirly design on the back.
Yeah,
I think
or
there's
just-
quite a lot of.
Or it's
It's just like
different, yeah, or it's a different size or different colour red or whatever.
I think Levi's actually tried to take Howie's, Howie's that was up in Cardigan. I think they took them to court for labelling or something.
Yeah.
And Howie's were an Italian company then, so they just lost the case and had to take the labels off or something.
Okay, so other companies' trade secrets. Well, not surprisingly, they can be really difficult to identify or to give examples because they're secret. If you have a trade secret, if I had a trade secret to do something, I don't want to broadcast that because by broadcasting it, if there is a competitor sitting in the room, for example, they'd say, "Oh, right, okay, he's got a trade secret about such and such." Well, I'm going to try and understand how he did that, because if you can independently invent, I have no protection. So the way to try and prevent the independent invention is you don't actually, broadcast the fact you've got an invention in the first place. And so typically, if you're looking for one, you're always looking for the absence of something. There'll be successful products or services for which you do a patent search and you can't find any patents. So you're actually looking for the absence of something, which is really, very awkward. So apart from Coca-Cola, I've got some examples on the next slide. Can anybody think of an example of a trade secret?
Volkswagen Group paint.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the really difficult things to make paint stick to is galvanised metal. And Audis are now fully galvanised, all Volkswagens are partly galvanised. Some of them I think are now fully galvanised. And people in the car manufacturing business have stayed away from putting paint into galvanised metal because it does tend to just crack and peel and fall off. Well, I don't know what Volkswagens do, but it doesn't crack, peel and fall off. So they've cracked it somewhere. And I do know from people I've talked to in the garage trade that they make their own paint. Most car manufacturers buy in paint, but Volkswagen make their own. So I'm guessing it's a trade secret.
Okay. Anybody got another one?
I'm guessing but it's Heinz tomato ketchup, that's trade secret.
I don't know, but it's a recipe,
Yeah.
so it's likely to be, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one else's ever tastes quite the same.
No.
Yeah.
Perpetual motion.
What, you've invented perpetual motion?
Well, so it's
Keep
called
that-
sustainable energy to keep things in perspective. But sustainable energy, but it means perpetual motion.
Okay, but
Think
what,
someone's got that as a trade secret?
I think we all have it to a degree when we get up in the morning.
that's not perpetual, you're actually putting food down your throat. So you're
No,
actually,
no. It can be, it's there. It's accessible. Put it that way.
what, sustainable energy?
Yeah.
So what would be the basis of that being a trade secret then? Because I mean, as an
No,
individual, it's a physiological organism, you don't have a trademark
It's
of your...
physiological. It comes through the physiological expression, but it's only accessible by right attitude
Right, okay.
in degree.
Okay, so are you saying there could be a trade secret in almost like a mental training program, an attitude like a personal development program?
Yeah, like in
Now there could be IP in there, but now whether you could keep a trade secret because by training the person, would you be able to keep? Would there be anything fundamental within that training process that you'd be able to?
You could learn it. It's free.
Okay, but if there was a learning
To
and
access it,
a learning and development
that could
business
be
that proved that
program.
they found a way of getting teenagers to get out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning and be bursting with energy and get up and go. Some might say, well, that's potentially got some value. The question is then whether or not that knowledge is protectable in any way. There might well be some invention in there because they've got an array of steps or techniques that they use to create a mindset or whatever. So not brainwashing so much as positive thinking or whatever. So you can imagine that there could be some IP in there. The question is, how would it be protectable?
It's its own protection. It has its own protection.
What do you mean?
It's a positive expression. It can't be corrupted.
Okay, so from the point from this perspective, then could you call that a trade secret? Do you think that would work as a
Well, it's a secret so far because nobody's really accessing it to
so-
any consistent degree.
Okay, so that it's actually then it's not so much a trade secret as it's almost like a fundamental of life that nobody's really been able to nail down as to.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
The recipe.
as soon as somebody can nail that down,
You can't.
they potentially got. As soon as somebody can nail that down and say, I know what makes the difference or what it is about us that either steers a person in this direction or that direction, you're starting to get towards the point where you might have some IP. But at the moment, I don't think there's any IP in that. Any others? I'll give you the examples I managed to dig out.